Hey, welcome to Toon Time, bringing you Newcastle United news and discussion. So this is a day after review. Um, I wanted to do the review yesterday, but it was a tough result to take. To be honest, we didn't play well. To be honest, but the position we got in and the way they equalised it was tough to take. Even though on the balance in the game, they definitely deserve something. But I feel once again that we shot ourselves in the foot at times in the game, and there was just it's just been happening over the past few games where there's quite a few periods in the game where we've been sloppy or making mental errors. I mean, Joelinton giving away the penalty to Junior Firpo of Leeds yesterday was a really silly thing. It's something, even though he does tend to be quite aggressive in the tackle, he is relatively selective in where he makes certain challenges, and the way he swept Firpo's legs yesterday was really silly. Um, it's just uncharacteristic. Bruno, he's been struggling a bit. I know online everyone's talking about Sean Lang's stuff and how much of a miss he's been, and he has definitely. But well, I know I've said it on here before. Anyway, I've seen how he's grown, and I knew he would have an impact if he was ever missing from the 11, especially during this season. But I didn't realize how much of an impact he makes in terms of the gaps that he plugs and the the running that he gives the team. He's considered, or he may be, if not, he's definitely towards the top of kilometers covers every game, and he is having this impact. And there are times you can see that we're looking a bit fatigued when you see them. I mean, I think Kieran Trippier is suffering without having Longstaff in front of him. That's one of his partners, down that right hand channel. And the first goal that we conceded yesterday, it came from slack defending. Maybe he could have done better to close down Bamford's cross, but it's one of those things. It was a half decent delivery, but it's just it's just the slappiness we've been seeing. It's Nick Pope came up big yesterday, especially. He nearly saved. He saved the first shot for the first goal by Leeds, but there was nothing he could do with the follow up. So, and then he saved the penalty, and that was a critical penalty as well, critical penalty save, because from that it allowed us to be still very close in the game, and then I think wasn't no more than 2 minutes later that we got our penalty. Callum Wilson stepped up, super cool, buried it, and he done the same in the second half when the other penalty came, which which came from Junior Firpo being a clown, to be honest, because that's not just me saying it. Like I say, I like to go into other fans forums and see how they reacted to the game and things of that nature, and they're not very happy with Junior Firpo because that handball was it was ridiculous, to be honest. It's I know it happens in games because we're all human, mistakes are going to be made, but that was really silly what he done. Yeah, but yeah, back to Newcastle. It, everything about it, it was quite it was a tough watch because there are times where you could see we was getting a bit of fluidity. We were moving with some, with our normal style, especially in that first half. The midfield, we were crushing them in midfield. That's why Samana said to make the change at halftime and brought on that Forshaw. He helped that Forshaw helped them a bit, but in the first half we had control in terms of possession and things like that. But it's just like we lacked a cutting edge. I know Eddie Howe seems to really want to make this Isaac and Wilson partnership work from the start of games. And like I said before, I can see the potential in it, but I feel like it's something that really has to be worked on in training, maybe pre-season, in terms of making certain let the midfield know their roles to cover for Isak, because he's not. He can play in the wide positions, but he's not really a natural winger. He's truthfully very much a striker. I know he's a hybrid one. The modern day type of striker. He can play forward roles. Play a bit wide, dropping to like the 10 position and things like that. But I do feel like it's a waste of his abilities that he's having to do that role as well, and to expect him to do it for 90 minutes. It's I don't think that's gonna help him in the long term. So hopefully against Brighton on Thursday, he does start a more natural winger on the left hand side, because I feel that will help us a lot more, especially in the defensive areas, and I mean not just going back. I mean in terms of pressing and things like that, because like I said, either can press, but I really do feel he's better down the centre. It's just that he can drift to both sides, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He will pull his mark out of position and cause problems like that, because he can dribble and he's got pace as well. He makes the runs in behind. He can hold up. He can do all of those things, and we're wasting him just trying to make him into some type of winger, some hybrid winger type thing. But anyhow, knows a lot more than me about football, so I can't really question him too much. But because he's been working all season, his decisions have managed to come to fruition. I mean, I wasn't particularly happy with Dan Burns' performances a few weeks ago, but he's managed to pull himself together and get back a relative amount of decent form. So there's that. I think the centre back partnership is suffering a bit at the moment, but I really do feel like at the moment it's that mental fatigue and the legs are a bit tired. It's the hardest part of the season. This is where minds prevail, the strongest minds prevail. Because you're still capable of running, but it's not like at the start of the season. The recovery times from each game, I feel maybe just a bit longer, and I think Eddie Howe is just trying to make certain that he keeps the mental focus of the group together, and that they can continue along the journey they've done this season and try and finish as high as possible. I know I've said it before, I say it again. Whatever happens, I'll be happy regardless, because to be honest, at the start of the season, my hopes were top 10 finish, at the highest 8th, and a decent cup run with a couple of additions in the transfer window, the winter transfer window, and then we look forward to the summer to see who they bring in. So to get a European place, we're already guaranteed Europa League football next season now. So the transfer team can already start pitching prospective players about where we are. They know there's European football guaranteed, and now they can start working on the targets. They may have different tiers of targets, and it may be dependent on getting Champions League football to get certain players, but whoever they get is going to be decent quality. I've been thinking about yesterday, because I know I was very disappointed, so I didn't really want to talk immediately. And I was wondering, have we gained a point or we lost two? And I think it's like sitting on the fence, but it's a bit of both. We made a very hard task of that game. We could easily been 2-0 down. So to come back, getting the lead, and to concede quite a fortuitous goal, with a deflection of Kieran Trippier's head, which no one expected. The shot wasn't a very good shot from Christensen, but he got that lucky bounce off Kieran Trippier. He flew in the net. So, like I said, Leeds were going to hustle and bustle us. They're going to make it very difficult. The referee didn't help. He tried to I think he was trying to make the game flow, so they was getting away with quite a few challenges. It was similar to the Everton game. and they managed to get a point for themselves. I've heard some analysts saying, "Oh, they should have won it," but I think that's giving this team a bit too much credit. They didn't deserve to win, you know, and we definitely didn't deserve to lose either. So a draw, I feel like was fair. There were quite a few periods where we were the better team by a distance. It's just that we were sloppy in the final third and in our third defensively at times. So I don't feel like it was them being particularly great. It's like I read some comments as well, and people were talking about how Newcastle at the start of the season were seen as a dangerous team, but I think that most other teams in the league thought they could get a result from. But as the season's progressed, we've gained more and more respect, and teams are a bit more worried about what we're going to do. So the game planning in terms of making themselves a lot tighter and making themselves harder to break down and countering things like that. So that shows our standing within the Premier League now. That we're seen as one of the better teams in the league that that have to be game planned for and a lot more thoroughly and respected in terms of how we can damage teams. So you thought that's what Leeds managed to do yesterday, but we didn't help ourselves either with the sloppiness, personally. So all in all, yeah, good point. We got Brighton on Thursday. Hopefully, he can rest the players. I don't know if he's going to rotate. I think it's likely he's going to continue with the Isaac Wilson partnership, and I don't know if that's going to be problematic for us on Thursday because it has its moments, but I really don't feel it's something you start a game with at this moment in time. I feel it's a relationship that has to be built upon, and not just between Isaac and Wilson. I mean, throughout the team, from the midfield all the way to the defence, because I think it does impact us in terms of how we press. And anyhow, it's only a little bit I think what he needs to do with his system, and it will work, I feel. But currently, the reason I felt like when he would bring on Wilson or Isaac in second halves of the game, it would just bring that chaos factor into the mix, and teams wouldn't know who to pick up or where Isaac or Wilson was going to be, how they were going to interchange, how they were going to drop a bit deeper to hold up or not the ball wide, things like that. But when you know it's coming, it's a bit different. You're like, all right, we know roughly where they're going to be, and we can game plan for that a bit more. So hopefully, whatever it picks on Thursday works, because we know just 2 wins does it. We've got 3 opportunities. We've been good all season, and hopefully we can get to get those wins in. Also, what else? I just hope that the players, the squad, doesn't get too downbeat. They just focus on trying to get the best results they can, because they've been excellent this season, and they've been a credit to themselves and to the Newcastle United community, the city, all of those things. So hopefully they carry on, hold their heads high, and just produce you know performances which are reflective of how they are as a group, which is hard working and dedicated to their craft. As we've seen so many players improve this season and defy all of our expectations. So I just hope they continue to continue along that path. So yeah, that's it basically. Yeah, once again, thank you for listening. Wherever you are, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Peace.